Um, the very first second I see what I look like is when I hit record. I don't go into my mirror or shower or anything. I sit up and I meditate and I hit record and discover that my hair is in a weird point. Day 53, I'm starting to feel so incredible and fulfilled. And one thing I realized is this is not about highs or lows. Like sometimes people will hear my videos and they'll say, I love what your videos are about. I got to be more positive. And you don't want to be, this isn't about being more positive because that implies negative is not good. And there's a difference because when you're feeling sad or angry, if you just try to get happy right away, that's a denial of the sad or angry feelings. And then they can't leave because you believe you need to get more positive. Our lows are equally important. And as you grow and you start to do this work, the work that I'm doing, you start to be the space in which both sets of emotions you can live as the space that these both show up in. So when you're in a positive space, that's great. There's a lot you can do in a positive space. When you're feeling really happy and high, you can create, you can be really loving, you can do so much in the high. But when you are in the low, you access parts of you that you wouldn't have accessed before. And you can in the high too, but when you're in a low, especially when you really think you're stuck in that low, you start to feel that pain and allow it to transcend out of you, and you start to be the space that's bigger than it. So more and more as I do this work, I stop, it's not about trying to get happy, it's more about accepting whatever emotional state that I'm in. And that weirdly mirrors out to the world. I start to accept what's happening outside too. And a lot of times people have a hard time with that. But remember that everything in the world has to hit its own low to move beyond it too. And as individuals are nearing their low, sometimes we try to get in there before they're ready and stop them from something. If you've ever stopped someone from being in a relationship, you think they're not a good match, and you talk someone into leaving a relationship before it's run its course, they'll just leave prematurely and think you're wrong and you're the reason that they broke up and not like you. But if they really are in something that's not working, they're going to be in it until they finally realize it's better to not be in it than to be in it. Like the low is so big. For me, the biggest transformation in my life was my lows. And before I had my lows, if you showed me anything like this kind of content, I would have thought that's just crazy. So this content isn't for everybody at this moment, right? So when I hit the lows that I hit, they were so deep and big that I finally said, okay, I'm going to learn something new that I didn't know that I need to know. I didn't know any of that. So when I hit my low, I started going inward and going, like the first time it was chaos, but I started discovering new things about myself and access this new me that was a little more aware and a little more, it was just different. So this isn't about getting things all positive and happy. And one thing I always tell people, because people often hear my videos and they say, or go to my events and they go, I gotta show my friend this. He needs this so bad. And the first thing I always think is your friend seeking this? Is your friend seeking help? Has your friend reached outward and said this? Because some people are heading to their low, and when we start to give them this, shove this content in their face, um, it's just still annoying because they're not at the place where they hit their wall and they're like, okay, I need to wake up, I need to grow. So I always tell people, don't take other people away from the opportunity to hit their own lows, because it's in their lows that they will end up finally moving past it because it's too much to handle. And before that, their life was actually trying to control everything and within the little boundaries that they understood and keep things positive. Well, eventually that's just exhausting to keep things positive, keep things positive, keep things positive. You're going to feel sad. And really, that's what a low is. It's just like, I'm trying to keep everything positive. I'm trying to keep everything positive. Finally, I can't. I can't control everything this much. And you realize, and you start to learn something like, maybe you'll learn one of two things. You'll learn how to really run things and keep things even more positive. You'll go to some achiever type seminar and really learn to make things so positive. And you'll learn how to control your circumstances so you don't ever have to feel sad. Or you'll learn that feeling sad is fine. And you'll learn that feeling sad is not only fine, but necessary for your growth. Because the worst thing in this society is that we were taught that being sad is not okay. So we repress sadness, and that's when anger shows up, because we haven't been allowed to release the sad part of us yet. So we're here to be the space. And so when I say that things are becoming neutral, that doesn't mean numb yourself when you feel lows. When I feel lows, the first thing I do is feel them and allow myself to allow them to be whatever those emotions are. And it's in that then I become a space that's bigger than it once I've truly felt through that emotion. But this world has taught us that feeling is bad, and that's what's so sickening. Feeling is so important. It's where you grow, it's where you expand, it's where you won't access massive happiness until you allow massive sadness. It's on the other side of massive sadness that you'll release the story from your past and create a new space that's bigger for a newer, deeper level of euphoric happiness. That's on the other side of sadness. So if you're feeling a lot of ups and downs, that's not a bad thing. This world wants you to think that's a bad thing. There's a lot of money to sell you things. There's a lot of things to sell you if you think that it's not okay to feel. But your expansion is through feeling. Your expansion is through just those moments of just having 20 minutes of just massive crying or a day of sadness. Just sit in your bed and say, it's okay to be sad. I surrender to sadness and just bawl all day. Dude, you're getting years of work done in that day. and feeling happy. It's okay too. So know that this isn't about highs or lows. This isn't about being more positive. I'm not meditating to be more positive. I'm meditating to feel whatever chaos needs to come up that day in that meditation, and then allow it to clear out so that I'm a little bit freer throughout the day, because whatever chaos I encounter through the day, I would have encountered, I encounter it first and then let go of it, so that when things show up in my life, it doesn't trigger what was a part of me because I've let go of it by then. So it's not about high or low. It's about just being the space for all of that to unfold in. Day 53.